Hello, everyone, and welcome to part 4 of the Stotra of Prabhu Sri Ram, written by Buddha Kaushik Rishi. Here, where I discuss the legacy and significance of Prabhu Sri Ram by an analysis and translation of the Ram Raksha Stotra, written by Buddha Kaushik Rishi. For those people who are joining us in part 4, I would really recommend that you watch parts 1 through 3 first, because otherwise this won't make much sense to you. And therefore, without further ado, I would like to start by the Sri Ram Raksha Stotra 4. So, in the earlier versions or in the earlier parts of the Stotra, we talked about how we pray to Prabhu Sri Ram to protect each and every aspect of our body. And we speak that, okay, may the one who defeated the demons, may the slayer of demons, may the someone who was the favorite of Vishwamitra, and so on and so forth. We describe Prabhu Sri Ram's deeds by assigning him different names, and we say that let this noble Maryada Purushottam watch over every part of my body. That is, may everything I do be in the service of that which is good, that which is transcendent, that which is noble, that which is divine. Now we proceed. एताम राम बलोपेताम रक्षाम यः सुकृति पठेत सचिरायु सुखी putri vijayi vinayi bhavet. May the good man who reads this stotra, which has all the power of Ram, be blessed with a long life, happiness, children, success, and humility. I believe in Sanskrit there's a saying, Vidya Vinayana Shobhate, which is Vidya उन्हीं का श्रृंगार होती है जो विनम्र हो. That is, the true knowledge only befits or is only an ornament upon those people who are humble. पाताल भूतलव्योम चारिणश्छद्म चारिण न दृष्टमति शक्तास्ते रक्षितम राम नामभि. No one who is wandering below the earth, which is known as the Patal Lok, or on the earth or above the earth, or those who wander surreptitiously, changing their forms, will will even be able to see the man protected by the name of Ram, let alone bring any harm to him. So essentially, it is this stotra claims that so Patal Lok is a rough equivalent of this would be hell, because not exactly, because Patal Lok is considered the land of demons, Dev Lok is considered land of the gods, and then obviously Prithvi or Dharatal is the earth which we inhabit. So essentially, this is saying that demons and all kinds of evil spirits, as well as Chadma Charana, so things which conceal themselves at night. So something like predators. So you will be invisible to predators. You will be invisible to evil and evil things. Is what because you are protected by the name of Prabhu Sri Ram. And next we go Rameti Rameti Rama Bhadreti Ramachandreti Vasmaran Naro Nalipyate Papar Bhuktim Muktim Chavindati. No sin can attach to the man who sings the praise of Lord Ram, and he will prosper in this world and get salvation. So, Hinduism is quite different in its conception of death and the end of the natural life cycle as compared to the Abrahamic religions. So, as far as I understand, all of Abrahamic religions are about living a good life, and once you live a good life, you get into heaven. Now there are some caveats, right? So in Catholicism, for example, if you commit sins but those sins are not egregious, then not too egregious, then maybe you go into something known as a purgatory. So you suffer in hell-like conditions for a short time, and then you go to heaven, right? I'm not sure exactly how Islam and Judaism deal with it. However, in Hinduism, there is a heaven which is known as Swarga, but the conception of life after death is something different. So in Hindus, as I think most everyone I hope watching this video knows, we believe in reincarnation, but we don't necessarily see that reincarnation as a good thing. So we believe that human beings are trapped in an endless cycle of birth and rebirth. So we are essentially condemned to repeat this endless cycle of birth and rebirth ad infinitum, and some might say ad nauseum. And when you find God, right, you get mukti. That is, you get freedom. And when you get freedom, you become one with God, but not exactly as your body, right? Your soul becomes one with God, and then you achieve true salvation, which is known as moksha. And the state you feel when you attain moksha is known as nirvana. So nirvana is defined as bliss. And yeah, there is a way you can describe it as bliss, but in some ways it is beyond happiness, because then this is difficult to explain to people who haven't really had spiritual experiences. I've had some spiritual experiences, and in those moments, it is very difficult for me to describe exactly what emotion I was feeling. The best way I can characterize something is that I was overwhelmed by such deep and profound emotion that it was beyond any it is beyond any words that at least I can describe it. So, nirvana is something like that, a state that is profound and deep and suffused with meaning. And so Hindus believe that there is something. So, like a lot of people, a lot of Muslims and Christians and Jews have a misconception that because Hindus are polytheists, that is, we pray to multiple gods, we don't have the concept of monotheism. That is, we don't believe in one God. That's not exactly true, and you may see that as a contradiction. So I'll try to explain it better to you guys. So we believe in known as something known as Parabrahma or Paramatma. Paramatma in simple, Atma in Sanskrit is soul, and Param means the highest, the supreme. So Paramatma refers to the supreme soul. And all of us have something, all human beings have Atma. And not just human beings, and I believe Hinduism is unique in this. Every living creature has a soul, right? So, because every living creature has a soul, the this soul is trapped in an endless cycle of birth, death, and then reincarnation uh, upon this earth. And the only way this soul achieves reunification with Paramatma, the Supreme Soul, is through at the path of enlightenment. And the path of enlightenment by which a Hindu can achieve moksha, that is reunification with the Supreme Soul, is the path of dharma. The path of dharma and the path of enlightenment is the only way for a Hindu to attain salvation, to attain moksha. And with this, I would like to proceed. जगज्जैत्रेक मंत्रेण राम नाम्नाभिरक्षितम् यः कंठे धारयतस्य सरस्था करस्था सर्वसिद्धया. One who wears this mantra of the Ram Nam has conquered the world around his neck and will have all the powers at his beck and call. So when this thing about conquering the world can be taken two ways. One, it can be taken as I will conquer the world, that is, I'll bend the whole world to my will. What the conquerors of history, like Genghis Khan or Alexander the Great, quote unquote, did. But they led, like, because of their actions, so many innocent people lost their lives. And Pythia, so Pythia, for those people who don't know, this is something from Greek mythology, Greek history, or Macedonian history to be precise, because Alexander the Great was Macedonian, and whether that is considered Greek or not is a geopolitical debate that I wish to avoid. Pythia was the priestess of the Greek god Apollo, who's the god of the sun. And it is said that in the temple of Apollo, there would be the priestesses. And these priestesses had the power of prophecy, that is, they had this ability to predict the future. So Pythia told Alexander, conquer yourself first. First, conquer yourself, and then you shall conquer the world. And Alexander never mastered his own self. And this is the Hindu and Buddhist path to enlightenment, mastery of the self, mastery of the senses. And that is what it means to conquer yourself. And then you can conquer the world. You know, master your innate, don't be a slave to your own desires, so on and so forth. वज्रपंजर नामेदम योरामकवचम स्मरेत अव्याहताज्ञ सर्वत्र लभते जयम. He who wears this armor gets a shield of protection by Sri Ram called Vajrapanjara Namedam and will get victory everywhere. Adishtavan yatha swapne Rama rakshami mamhara tatha likhitavan pratah prabuddho buddha kaushika. So, Buddha Kaushik Rishi was commanded in his dream by Lord Shiva to compose this hymn, and he did so as soon as he awoke in the morning. So, again, you see this duality that Lord Vishnu is the protector of this entire universe, and Lord Shiva stands for destruction. And again, you see that while Lord Shiva does not directly take an avatar uh, on this earth, or his avatars are not as well known as that of Vishnu, and still you always find the avatars of Vishnu praying to Lord Shiva, or to uh, how do I say this? You find this really close interplay between Vishnu the protector and Shiva the destroyer in Hindu mythology. And so Buddha Kaushik Rishi essentially had a dream, and this entire stotra came to him in a dream, and he believes that this dream had divine inspiration. And he just had this dream. He woke up in the morning and he wrote it down. And the act of creation in some ways is so mysterious. So if you ask the people who are truly creative, they'll never say, "Oh, I wrote this composition," or I sculpted this marble into this amazing thing you see." A lot of times they'll say something like, "This came to me. Inspiration struck." They call it the muse. They have different names for it, but in any case, they're saying that something beyond me struck me with deep and profound meaning, and I was compelled to create. And this also reminds me of this story of a scientist. He was trying to figure out the chemical formula of benzene, and he could not. And he fell asleep, and he dreamt of a snake which is biting its own tail. And believe it or not, this helped him elucidate the structure of benzene, which is a hexagon, which is essentially a hexagon of linked carbon molecules. So truly creative ideas sometimes have their root in something which is mysterious and, in my humble opinion, divine. So those ideas which are truly transcendent maybe have some divine inspiration. So next time you want a divine idea, look within your soul with some humility and call that which is most noble in you, and maybe you will also have divine inspiration. With this, I would like to conclude part four of this Prabhu Sri Ram Stotra. Stay tuned for part five. Thank you very much. Don't forget to like and subscribe.